What's up you guys, my name is Kaiser and today I'll be bringing you another Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle. I will be sporting a primarily UU team with the exception of my Vaporeon, while my opponent will be bringing a nice mixed tier team. It looks really nice, about the same tier as mine. Big threats on his team are obviously going to be his Aegislash, always a threat. Florges, always a good special defense pivot, and he's got that firebug thing, Olgamoth, that Japanese name, Volcarona, yes. And it's going to be a little bit hard. I knew that this match was going to be a little more difficult for me as my Sticky Web wasn't going to be all that effective in this match with the exception of his Zoroark. So let's get this thing started, shall we? Now, knowing I kind of just wanted to try and get my Sticky Web up anyway, I go ahead and lead with my Galvantula while he leads off with his Machamp. Now, at this point I know that I can't really do anything with my Sticky Wave, so I go straight for the Thunder, but he in fact actually turns out to be a Zoroark, which is not all that good for me. He gets the Flamethrower off, knocks me down to my Sash, and I'm predicting here for him to go for the Sucker Punch, so I actually switch out into my Bubble, which is going to be my Snorlax, and he actually goes for the Night Daze. Like, I was so confused what was going on here. Like, why would he go for a Night Daze? Now, he gets the accuracy drop, not a huge deal because I go straight for the Crunch instead, or whatever. I go straight for the Crunch, but I don't have any attack advancement, so Zoroark's gonna live, which is kind of stupid. Now I can't do anything with my Bubble because I'm afraid I'm gonna be missing my Body Slam, so I switch out of my Frosty, which is gonna be my Vaporeon. But he goes for the U-turn. Now he gets his stupid switch initiative. Then he goes into his actual Machamp now. So got a little bit of lefty's recovery, and I know he's gonna go for like a Dynamic Punch or something, so I just go straight for the Skulls, fishing for the burn, and I do get the burn, which is gonna be very good for me. He goes for the Dynamic Punch, it hits, and because he's carrying the Dynamic Punch, I can assume that he's no guard, meaning that he will not get the Guts boost, which is why his Dynamic Punch only did as much as it did to my Vaporeon. Now he's taking a little bit more burn damage, and he can't stay in, so he goes into his Florges. Sorry. And I know that I can take one of anything, so I go straight for the Wish. I do break through the Confusion, as you can see. I get a little bit more damage, recovery. So now this Forge is going to be posing a huge problem because obviously it carries Aromatherapy. So my Toxic and Burns are obviously not going to be as potent to his team unless I kill this Fortis. So I go straight for the Toxic, forcing him to go for another Aromatherapy. So this gives me the chance to switch out into whatever I want. So I switch out into my Darmanitan, being my Monkey Brow, knowing that I can easily scare him out with the Flare Blitz. So he does go for the Aromatherapy to heal off his poison, and he gets a little more lefty's recovery, no big deal. Now I predict him to obviously switch, because why would you stay in with the Florges? So he goes into his Blastoise, and I predict the switch, so I go for my Life Orb U-turn, does almost half, so it's not too bad damage on his Blastoise, and I switch out into my Nikola Tesla, being my Nikola. So, being my Galvantula. Now he can't stay in to take a Thunder, so he's forced to switch out into his Aegislash, who is going to eat up this Thunder fairly well, taking only about 33%. Now I can't stay in because he's going to go obviously for a Shadow Sneak, so I go into my Snorlax, and I do predict, no, I don't predict this correctly. He actually goes to the Iron Head instead, which does nearly half. I was a little bit scared, but not a huge deal. He's going to be fearing the Crunch here, so he has to switch out into his Machamp, and judging by the amount of HP that his Machamp has, it is a Machamp and not a Zoroark. So I do minuscule damage with my Crunch, so I have to switch out here for fear of the Dynamic Punch once again. So I go out into my Nikola to try and get Switch Initiative after letting him kill my Nikola. So down goes my Galvantula. I think this is one of the first deaths of the match. He takes some more Life Orb recoil, and I go into my Monkey Brow. So now knowing he can't do much, he goes straight for the Bullet Punch just to get a little bit more lasted damage off of me, and I go straight for the Flare Blitz, predicting a switch into something, assuming that he might conserve the Machamp. Unfortunately that does not happen, and I take quite a bit of damage from the crit Bullet Punch. Not too big of a deal, but I mean, whatever. So he goes back into his Mega Blastoise. He goes for the Mega Evolution. I U-turn, and for fear of the, what is it called, a Water Pulse, can't stay in, go into my bubble. No, Frosty, because I'm fearing the water pulse. I was gonna absorb it with my water absorb, but instead he goes for the aura sphere, which doesn't even do half. So Frosty proving to be one of the most reliable walls on my teams, physical and special. Now he goes out on his Florges, and I predict the switch, so I go straight for the wish, not fearing terribly anything that he's going to be carrying. So obviously I can't really stay in, as toxic or whatever isn't going to do much, so I go straight into my bubble, and he goes for his wish, which is not very good for me. So as you can see, I get all my HP back from the Vaporeon Wish Pass, and he's forced to switch out here as he does not really want to take a Body Slam. So he goes into his Blastoise to pass off the Wish. So I get a Curse off. He gets his Wish HP back, not looking good for me. And he goes straight for the Aura Sphere here. I wasn't sure how much it was going to do, so I went and stayed in, and it doesn't do half, which is going to be really nice. I go straight for the Body Slam, fishing for the Parahacks. I don't really get it. Not a huge deal, as it looks like he can be KO'd from this range with another Body Slam. So I stay in, go for another Body Slam. I tank the Aura Sphere, and I think he dies. Oh crap, he did not die. I can't. Obviously, I don't remember this battle very well. Goes for final Aura Sphere, and I can't really switch into anything else, so I just go ahead and let Bubble die here. Actually, I might have been able to switch into my Vaporeon to take it, but, I mean, we all make bad moves, so whatever. So now fearing I don't really want anything to come in, so I just go straight for the Scald, and he dies. So, now he goes back into the Aegislash. I don't want to have to take a Sacred Sword or a Shadow Sneak or whatever, but he predicts my switch, goes straight for the Sword Stance. Good move on his part. Can't do much here. So, with my Frosty, I'm going to hope to fish for a burn with my Scald. There goes one Scald. No burn. He gets up to +4 with his Sword Stance. Sorry, you guys. Excuse me. Burping all around here. Go for another Scald. Fish for the burn. I still don't get the burn. Now he's a +6, making him one of the most dangerous things in all of Pokemon history. He gets off into his... he gets out of his shield form, goes for a... Oh, sorry guys. Goes for the... Dang it, Shadow Sneak to kill me. Now I go into my Dumbo, who I know can easily take a Shadow Sneak because of my Sturdy. And then I get to retaliate with an Earthquake, taking out his Aegislash. Thank goodness, as he would easily swept the rest of my team. So let me get a little bit of Lefty's recovery, which is obviously going to be completely pointless. Now he goes into his Volcarona, and I know that my Ice Shard isn't going to do much, so I just try and go for the Earthquake, hoping that he would Quiver Dance instead, but he does go straight for Bug Buzz for the kill. Now, this was a little bit important. He goes for Quiver Dance. I knew I wouldn't have time to get up Focus Energy to go for the crit Scald, so I go for the Scald. I actually do get the Scope Lens Enhanced crit, and he dies, so that was really good for me. Now he goes into his Florges. I'm down to my last two Pokemon, being my Darmanitan and this thing. And here, I should have won the match right here. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know. I should have won the match. With my Darmanitan here, I didn't mind taking the Moonblast, but I should have went for the safe Flare Blitz. As I would not have died from the Life Orb recoil had he switched to his Zoroark. Neither would I have... And I would have still had enough to take out this Florges, but instead I go for the U-turn, predicting the Zoroark switch in, and obviously my, what's this thing called? My Kingdra is going to be appreciating a Moonblast. So down goes my Kingdra. He gets a little bit more Lefty's recovery. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I can possibly bring this down to a 1-0. Try and go for the Rock Slide. I miss. Just more salt in the wound, but I most likely wouldn't have won anyway. And down I go to a useless crit. And I lose this game 2-0. Really, I just was feeling the pressure at the end, and I let myself succumb to it. So, I think I played okay. This was an okay match for me. So if you guys like the battle, please please subscribe, and I'll promise to bring you guys more. Do what y'all do, give it a thumbs up if you like the battle, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.